The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
Last year I was sitting at a desk as a sales manager, and now I'm official McLaren F1 simulator test driver.
So it's 1.4 behind.
This opportunity.
Welcome to the Nurburgring. Welcome to one of the toughest racetracks in the world. And welcome to round number 2 of McLaren Shadow, the Grand Prix side of things. Wolvington along with Connery and Maddock here at the legendary Nurburgring. And well, Connery, we've had 1 week of action. This is the second. 17 drivers in this race trying to take part in what is the greatest competition right now in all of sim racing esports.
Yeah, we're back for yet another week of the McLaren Shadow project here on iRacing, and well, it's the Nurburgring, and a little bit more space to work with here than at Montreal, which is where we were at last time out, and that one was a pretty frantic race as well. Qualifying is just finishing up here at the Nurburgring, so we'll get ourselves quickly, perhaps, to your grid.
Yeah, let's have a look at your starting grid then for this event. And out front, it's Marcus Jensen, who has himself qualifying done and dusted with 1 minute 30.288 his qualifying time. Harrison Finch alongside him on that front row of the grid. Josh Thompson in 3rd place. David Williams in 4th for your starting grid. And then P number 5 will be Jorge Montanez. Michael Partington in 6th. Peo Peeve in the number 13 car in 7th. And Eric Andre in 8th place. 9th place will be Mattia Calistani. And then 10th place will be Daniel Bieder. Josh Ladd 11th. Ryan Parkins in the 12th position. 13th is Stefan Schmidt. And then you got yourself Jan Brezina. And that is your top 14 drivers. Last couple of drivers heading up on your screen right now. Now, here's a look at your weather for today. 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 55% relative humidity. It is partially cloudy, 2-mile-an-hour wind. We're on what they call the Strecke circuit here today, Connery. And well, that first sector through the Mercedes arena, that is going to be the difference maker.
It is, especially on lap number 1, especially if you're Harrison Finch, since the second grid spot here at the Nürburgring is actually on the inside for turn number 1. So a good start for Finch here is very, very crucial. And if you remember back to last week, he had pretty much the most terrible start of all the drivers on the grid. So he really needs to sort those starts out, especially here.
Drivers are lining themselves up on the starting grid. We are moments away from getting racing in this 20-lap event here today at the Nürburgring. Of course, RaceSpotTV will be here for that in a couple of weeks for Sim Racing Expo. But in the meanwhile, lights will go on top of the gantry and the lights will go out any moment now. We go racing. McLaren Shadow in towards turn number 1. They are 4 wide. Down your mid-pack. Look at that. That's a Radical's car on the grass. Coming in towards turn number 1. He managed to slow it down there. But my word, that was close, Connery.
Unbelievable start there from a couple of cars behind. Michael Partington was the car you saw try to take to the grass. There's still 2x2 for P number 2. And P number 4 is there we go. There goes Finch up and over into the barriers as well. And he was tagged around by what I believe was his teammate. So catastrophic there for PSR.
I cannot believe that. First rule of racing, never hit your teammate. On board of Finch. Comes into the corner. Up and over. Finch is out of this. Well, he's down at the very rear of your field right now as you have a look at Josh Thompson, P number 4. But yeah, you're right. Michael Partington, an incredible start in that Radicals and Line car. But what this done is given Marcus Jensen a free pass basically now, because he's got already 1.5 second advantage over Jorge Montanez as he exits right now into what will be one of your DRS zones.
It has given Marcus Jensen quite a bit of a buffer to work with, and that's just going to be extending out even towards the end of this lap. 1.6 seconds on the relative already. There'll be a little bit more as well as they head their way through the final corner, and of course across the line to complete lap number 1. But the battle for P number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is all alive and good. So this is where all the action, well, most of the action is going to be happening.
Yeah, and as you said, that first sector is always the hardest one, as they work themselves down in towards turn number 1. Again here, live timing and scoring. We are having a couple of issues with it, unfortunately, but it is now running. We'll get you up to date with that one. So just visit RaceSpot.tv/timing for up-to-date timing and scoring from this broadcast. So, as things stand right now, we've got ourselves a very interesting situation because your mid-pack is heavily stacked. And, of course, this being the biggest race of the week, Connery, this is where more points are on offer. The likes of Montanez, Partington and Thompson, they've got to remember that even though they might not win this event, they cannot go gung-ho too much because they will lose what might otherwise be a good point-scoring performance.
Yeah, exactly. The strength of the field of this race is around about 5,000. So that's the average I rating of all the drivers in the field. And when you consider that the rest of the races so far this week have been topping out about 2K, 3K, then this is a huge opportunity to score some decent points, because the higher the strength of the field, the more championship points you'll score, because the field is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, having a look towards the rear of the field. We have got all drivers running, by the way. Robert Plumley is the last driver in line. Then you got Stefan. He's actually fallen down quite a bit in that number 12 car, running right now second to last on track. And well, I think he's got a couple of issues. He might bring that car on towards pit road. Indeed, he will do so. So number 12 on towards pit road. Disappointing there for, I will say, a driver who absolutely loves sim racing, because you have a look at his Facebook page. He's always talking about his accomplishments, what he's doing, be it a good day, be it a bad day. Stefan is always talking about what he's doing on track.
Doesn't always get quite the best of luck, shall we say, in terms of the drivers, at least if his Facebook feed is to be believed, as he'll bring that car to a stop in his pit box. A change of front wing will going to be required here, and he might actually get himself off in the way. He's staying in the car, maybe waiting for a little bit of optional repairs to get done before he gets back out there and tries to scavenge some points up.
What do you do if you're Jorge Montanez? Because right now you're in P number 2. You're 2 seconds back, 2.2 seconds back from Marcus Jensen already. And we're already on lap number 3 of this 20-lap motor race. Because you've got Partington. He's within 1 second. He is within DRS range. But do you try and continue to attack, or do you realize the driver behind you and adapt your driving style accordingly?
I think typically we'll start to see Marcus Jensen start to pull away more and more. I think he does have the overall pace advantage. He has the experience advantage over Jorge Montanez as well. So I think P1's just going to get away. So I think Montanez just has to focus on the cars behind him now. Just get that very good points finish for finishing P number 2, and try not to lose those positions to the cars behind.
I will say, Harrison Finch has to bring it on towards pit road. Well, you have to do so. His car literally flipped upside down. So he looks as though he may be out of this event. But Stefan Schmidt has got himself back out on track. 25-second pit stop to get a new wing on that car. David Williams, VRS Kleiner Sim Sports. One thing I want to talk about right now is that Team Redline have partnered up with McLaren, right, of course, we saw the announcement a couple of days ago in terms of this F1 esports situation. David Williams, of course, is running as a part of Coanda Sports, who are the biggest rival of Team Redline. So, if David Williams, hypothetically, was to win this championship, that could be very interesting in terms of team down. And this is one thing I love about the F1 esports. This is one thing I love about the McLaren Shadow project, because it's pushing the boundaries. And, well, you know, people might leave teams. And we know Coanda is more of a collective than a team. But if you get given an opportunity, you go for it, Connery.
Yeah, exactly, and a driver like David Williams will absolutely come alive when we get to the GT portion of this series, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens if he does go very, very far in this event, because some of the F1 esports teams, they have allowed drivers to stay with their previous sim racing teams and only race with the F1 teams for the F1 esports, and some have also had the sort of contract situations and all legal stuff, so it's very, very confusing. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is going to be with McLaren, but it'll be certainly very interesting to see someone like David Williams be with the Team Redline guys for one series and then against them in another. That's going to be an interesting paradox.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to get Zach Brown on the broadcast. If you're ever available, please do let us know. Josh Thompson right now in 4th place. Michael Partington just ahead of him in 3rd place. They work themselves on the back end of the Mercedes Arena right now. Then through turn number 5. And this is when you go back onto the old part of the Nurburgring racetrack. You flick it through turn number 6, then turn number 7. Which, actually, I have to say, Connery, I think is one of the hardest chicanes in all of motorsports.
Yeah, it is as well. There's just, as I said at the top of the broadcast, through that particular section, not a lot of room to maneuver. If you make a mistake, push wide, and it's only going to be grass that you're hitting rather than tarmac runoff. So it requires utmost attention of all your drivers trying to circulate the racing circuit right now. But overall, we've just gone into a little bit of a period where drivers are just settling down. Of course, you can't settle down too much in a sprint race. We've only got 20 laps here. We've already done, well, we're on the 5th one of those 20 right now. Marcus Jensen has pulled away once again, up to 3.2 seconds right now. So he's just saying goodbye to the field. See you next week. But the battle for being number 2, that is still very much a train.
Yeah, this track, by the way, is the only in history to be referenced as under 3 different names. As Jan Brezina looking down to the inside, getting the pass complete then. No, he won't. He'll tag him. That is over Kim Eriksson as they come down towards the final corner. And Jan Brezina looks like he's now going to be ahead of Kim Eriksson. I believe there might be a bit of damage to the number 3 car.
Side by side down the pit straight, Brezina, driver's right-hand side, have the inside line for turn number 1. Kim Eriksson on the outside of the racing circuit can do the classic cutback move off of this corner, but is just not able to. I think that car is slightly damaged. It doesn't seem to be on the pace at all. And as a result, I think Kim will just drop back a little bit here. He does manage to get the car somewhat stable through these slow speed corners, but it seems like everywhere else he's having a little bit of trouble.
Yep, don't forget you can follow us at RaceSpotTV on the Twitter machine / RaceSpotTV on the Facebook. It's okay, we don't promote fake news at all on our Facebook page. But yeah, this track, Connery, is the only track to have been 3 different Grand Prix. It's been the German Grand Prix, it's been the European Grand Prix, and it's been the Luxembourg Grand Prix.
Yeah, it has, even though the Nurburgring isn't, well, is very, very far away from Luxembourg. I can't exactly remember what the story was behind that one, what the reasoning was that they had to call it the Luxembourg Grand Prix.
I think they had a different European Grand Prix track that year. I've got a feeling it was Estoril that was the European Grand Prix. But they still wanted to keep the Nurburgring because they were under contract, so they called it the Luxembourg Grand Prix. The same way that San Marino Grand Prix isn't in San Marino, it's in Italy.
Yeah. It's kind of like calling the, I'm going to go for calling Silverstone the Irish Grand Prix then. That's some tensions I don't want to stoke up.
Oh, Condre right on the rear of Ryan Parkins, down to the inside, in towards turn number 1. I know Condre, that's a nice move, puts him into the top 10.
Yeah, exactly. Simple move down the inside. It's at the first turn there, a hairpin turn. The inside line has such an advantage. You can get the cut back if you're running that outside line on the entry to the corner though. But the corner straight after is a left-hander, so it's a very, very difficult situation to try and defend those sorts of moves down into there, and Eric Andre has managed to capitalize on that fact. So Ryan Parkins back down into P number 11 right now, which is still an improvement on his qualifying P number 12, and then Eric Andre qualified P number 8, so he's still on a little bit of a recovery drive here, but getting those passes done. But the thing is, his next competitor is quite far up the road here, and he doesn't have a lot of time to work with, so that's a little bit concerning for an Eric, but he'll just run his own race now.
Yeah, having a look on board again with Josh Thompson. He's got his own teammate in the Records online machine on Michael Partington just ahead as they come back down into what I still like to call a VDOM chicane. Old school, as we head ourselves now down towards the final corner. That long right-hander. And one thing that's worth noticing is that Partington is still within a second of Jorge Montañez, but cannot find a way past as the DRS flaps are wide open right now. I think the track conditions as they are have made it harder to overtake, and we often see that at the Nurburgring. In the wet, this track can be absolutely amazing. I mean, 1999, Eddie Irvine, 3 wheels on my wagon, Mark Janae getting a point from Minardi. Luca Bador almost got a podium back in 99 for Minardi. His car broke down. I remember him crying, and I think actually anyone who's ever been a fan of motorsports is crying along with Minardi that day.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those circuits where the wet conditions can really, really spice up the race. And, well, if you're a fan of iRacing, you'll be pleased to know that rain is coming, but no time frame for it just yet. We've got day-night transitions and all that stuff to sort out just yet, but soon TM.
Soon TM, indeed. And day-night will be fantastic. Unfortunately, it won't be here in time for the 24 hours of Le Mans, but it will be here as Harrison Finch has gained a position. He's gone past Robert Plumley up into 15th place on track. 2 drivers have made a pit stop. They are Finch. They are Schmidt in the number 12 car. Schmidt running right now in last position. It looks as though that Harrison Finch came into the pit road, sorted that car and got back out on the way. We're on board with David Williams again in that number 2 car. Pete is ahead of him right now. We're looking on board as they come out of the final corner towards turn 1. They'll come again. But yeah, if you're at Sim Racing Expo, of course, you will also potentially, Connie, have the chance to check out iRacing's AI feature, which I know it's been very controversial. Some people are saying, oh, we don't want to race on AI. But in terms of driver training, it can be very useful.
Yeah, it would be absolutely incredible, because sometimes you don't want to just deal with real people on the racetrack. You just want a quick race just to perhaps warm up for a race or something like that. And iRacing will be premiering their AI feature at the Sim Racing Expo. So as Will's quite rightfully said, if you are there and you are out and about around the Nurburgring with the Blancpain GT race going on at the same time as well, then just pop your head in and see what iRacing are working on.
Yep. And we'll be here, we'll be there even. RaceSpotTV will be partnering again along with iRacing, bringing you coverage, the international feed coverage of all the events taking part at Sim Racing Expo, as well as doing our own thing as well. Sim Racing Observer are going to have themselves a slot at that one every day, bringing you a highlight of what's happened at the Sim Racing Expo. We'll also have interviews with drivers and teams from around the world as well. Let's go back and let's actually have a look at the number 5 car, because he's gotten back himself into this one in that Positive Sim Racing University of Isabella 1 car as they work themselves into that final corner. Lap number 9 or 20 going to be scored complete. And actually, Matteo is one of these drivers that you've always got to keep an eye out on, because he very easily can get himself into this one and start working up positions as, oh, ahead! That's a change of position. I believe, was it? Because that lap traffic.
It was a look.
It was a look. It was a big look. Let's get that on the replay.
Yeah, big look for Michael Partington, looking to try to take that inside line away from Montañez coming down towards turn number 1, but he wasn't quite close enough to get that move complete. But Partington now, he's starting to run out of time. We got about halfway stage right now, so 10 laps to go. Next time these guys head their way across the line, which can just go in a flash, especially with how fast these McLaren MP430s lap.
Oh yeah, indeed. And the thing is to note, they are already 6 seconds. I say already 6 seconds. They are 6 seconds behind your lead driver of Marcus Jensen. Jensen is just having a nice little Sunday drive going on. But let's head ourselves towards the rear of the field. By the way, Pedrozzoli is out of this event. He's on pit road. He's had himself an incident. Let's get ourselves a replay of that one, if we can, for you. And here we are. Oof! Back into that car. Just slid out completely down at the chicane.
Yep, just tried to get the car turned into the corner, and the car just swapped ends on him. That's quite a weird instance, if I'm honest. But the snap oversteer on entry, he didn't even touch the grass on the right hand side either. So that car just wasn't behaving the way Pedrozzoli was just expecting, and decided, you know, because even though he hasn't got damage, he's going to bring it down towards lane. As we do have this battle for P number 2, and they have swapped positions for P number 2. Partington has gotten himself ahead of Jorge Montanez, but Montanez is going to come back now through the Mercedes arena up towards turn number 3, takes the inside line away from Partington, but the right-hander means that Partington gets the advantage off the corner, but that's a fantastic cutback there from Montanez. They'll take the battle down towards 6.
Yeah, and outside line, then it's going to be for Montanez. Can he make it work? Inside line, next corner, turn number 7. They stay side by side. This is fantastic here in the McLaren Shadow Series. They now come down into that 180-degree corner. They're going to stay side by side all the way for the Michael Schumacher rest. No, they're not. Montanez has finally admitted defeat, Connery.
Yeah, side by side for pretty much half a lap there. Fantastic racecraft from both drivers involved, as Montanez takes a little bit too much out of the brakes up in towards turn number 11 through turn number 12 as well. Compromised line from Montanez could give Josh Thompson the opportunity on the run up towards the NGK chicane, or the VDOL chicane if you're old school. Thompson had the run into there, but decides to back out of it. So everything's just going to calm down a little bit, I think, right now, as long as Montanez can get the power down out of the chicane and coming through the final corner. But that was a fantastic show of racecraft there, as Montanez again gets oversteer off the final corner. Here comes Thompson.
Yeah, the DRS flap is open for Montanez, but Thompson looks down to the inside, in towards turn number 1, and he gets that in one fell swoop. So now 2 Radicals drivers in P2 and P3. That moves the Positive Sim Racing drivers down to P4 and P number 5. We're going to work ourselves back a little bit and show you how competitive this race has been. Now, Kim Eriksson, he's down in 13th place. He's the last driver in our main batch as it stands right now. But he is, well, the graphic's not showing it the way I want it to, but you can see there's a visual representation, 360 degrees of the lap. He is still less than a quarter of a lap behind right now. Marcus Jensen, however, has been pulling away at a rate of knots. He is now 8.2 seconds ahead of Michael Partington. And yes, that last time by, there has been a little bit of movement. But 5 tenths, 9 tenths, 1.7 seconds. That is how hard Jensen's pushing. That Burst Esports car needs to basically remember the fact now that he's on lap number 12, 8-second advantage. It's going to be very hard for him to lose the race lead.
Unless he makes his own mistake, but we won't put that particular curse of the commentator on him. At least I hope we don't. Says he's looking to get another fantastic result here for Burst Esports. He did win last time out of Montreal, and it looks like it's going to be 2 on the bounce for Marcus Jensen, but he's still got about 8 laps to go, and anything can happen in 8 laps. But looking back at the battle for P number 3 now, Josh Thompson, Montanez, they're still very, very close as well, and Thompson is just allowing Michael Partington to get off ahead, so he's just playing a defensive role for his teammate here.
Yeah, they are indeed. So have a look right now at Josh Thompson. As we've had an incident behind, actually. This is down in P number 5, P number 6-ish, 7 area. Oh, this is David Williams, I believe.
Yeah. It's going to be fighting side by side through the Mercedes arena. They were side by side all the way from turn number 1, and actually David Williams managed to pull off that pass coming off the exit of the Mercedes arena there. So that is a good pass from the VRS car and the driver, and because Montanez and Partington were fighting so hard just a couple of laps ago when they went side by side for half a lap, that has brought David Williams and Peopiev into this battle for the podium positions.
VRS versus VRT. and now S is ahead of T, like it is in the alphabet. So Williams right now in P number 6. He's only 6/10 then behind the number 5 machine in the 5th position. Matteo Constantini even. But look at that one again. Look down to the inside. Yep, you're right. You get it. But down to the inside again then. He was going to go down to the inside. He gets a move back down at the Kokoda curve.
Isn't quite over yet. Piev will pull himself ahead with the help of the DRS. No DRS in effect for David Williams as the PSR car is ahead. Will actually swap positions as well. So Montana's getting back ahead of Kalistani. So no team orders in effect there as they scrap down in towards turn number 1. So this a little bit of a train is going to split up because of the two sets of cars battling. But this could set up for an absolutely fantastic finish for these positions that are quite far up the field, which do pay a lot in terms of the championship points. It could set yourself up for a good run over the next couple of races.
Well, the way the iRacing works for this one, because of the fact this is the 5K race you talked about compared to the 2.5, 3K racing, even if you finish inside your top 5, you will probably get more points than if you won the 2 or 2.5K event early on in the week. Now, on board again with Williams, he's actually lost himself half a second to P because of the fact that they're going side by side. I've got a feeling that Juan, the driver, has overcooked his tyres a little bit. But Kalistani right now in P number 5, you're right, he's fallen back behind Jorge Montanez. I'm not quite sure why that's going to be the case. I mean, yeah, we know Montanez is one of those lead drivers over at the PSR team, but you don't need to have team orders in a 20-lap race, surely.
Yeah, exactly. They were having a little bit of an altercation down in towards turn number 1. We'll see if that continues to be the case, as David Williams has caught himself a couple of tenths of a second again up to the back of Piev here, and he will actually get the effect of the DRS, which he didn't have last time around. And Kalistani is still looking for a move on his teammate here. That's certainly an interesting situation. You don't want a situation that you saw with this very team at the start of the race, at the end of the race.
From one PSR car to another, let's go on board with Daniel Bieder.
Josh Thompson.
Thompson, what's happened?
Oh, he's gone very, very slow through the exit of the Mercedes arena. He did, I believe he had some issues of a technical nature, and then he just slowed down because of it and allowed the PSR cars by and Piev as well. David Williams squeaked his way by as well, so a lot of work to do now for Josh Thompson to fight back through the field with 5.5 laps to go. Yeah,
we're going to see if we can get you something here. So yeah, technical difficulties for Josh Thompson. We get back that camera back on board. He actually almost made contact with a positive sim racing car. Just slow there through turn number 5. And you can see that you're right, that Williams is like, okay, I'm having this. But one thing I'm noting is that the battle for the last couple of spots inside your top 10, you got yourself Josh Ladd and Daniel Bieder. Now, Ladd is up a few positions here today. Daniel Bieder running in P number 9. Your top, your moves and shakers in your top 15, they are on the left-hand side of your screen right now. And you'll notice the fact that Josh Ladd is tied with Jambrazina as your second highest mover inside of your top 10, because Partington is up 4 and Calistini is up 4 as well. But Ladd doing a good job right now. He's got himself past a number of drivers. Daniel Bieder is trying to close back down in towards turn number 1. Can't do anything about it.
So close to turn number 1, though, was the battle for P number 3 and 4, and actually Kalistani and Montanez did indeed swap positions. So that is an interesting one. Was that team orders? Was it the team just saying, oh, just fight it out between yourselves, guys? And I don't see a reason why they would do that, though, because the other competitors are so close behind. Montanez again looking for the inside coming through the fork curve over Kalistani, but Kalistani not having any of it. And this is just allowing Piev, allowing Williams, allowing Thompson all to catch right back up into this train as they go through Dunlop.
Yeah, through Dunlop into the Michael Schumacher S right now. Left hand, right hand flick. Here's speedometer. Right hand side of your screen right now. Up to 180 miles an hour before you break it to left. One of the more, I wouldn't say complicated corners, Mickey Mouse corners in this track here, Connery.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the circuit is just so technical in places. You have a lot of slow speed complexes where you can just you just have to have really just the right balance in the car, the right mechanical grip in the right corners. And that's basically how you go faster at a circuit such as this, but up through the final corner now, the Coca-Cola curve. And these cars are so close together, but there was a bit of a snap oversteer moment for Calistani right at the head of this train. Montanez, his teammate, will have the DRS down in towards turn number 1. Harvesting ERS at the end of the straight, though, gives the opportunity to Piev around the outside of turn number 1. But Williams will try to take the inside, though, behind. And that turns to the outside line for the rear S Coanda driver. That purple, orange, and white car gets very, very close to Piev coming through the left-hand apex there. But David Williams will just have to drop back behind. And now has to be concerned about Thompson in the Radicals car behind.
Williams does not have good form in overtaking drivers in the Grand Prix car. He always seems to have a bit of difficulties when it gets to that close racing. He almost had an incident early on, and he's had one again. VRS versus VRT, so to say. And Piev right now in the number 13 car, but a back single file once again behind. And Eric Andre versus Daniel Bieder is still going on. That is for P10.
Yep, it is. These guys very, very close indeed. And Eric Andre very close to the back of Bieder, coming up towards the Michael Schumacher. S is pretty much planted his nose right under the diffuser, coming off of the Dunlop curve towards turn number 11 now as well. Josh Ladd isn't too far ahead either, so and Eric Andre has a couple of positions he can make up here to get himself back into basically where he qualified. He's sitting P10 right now, and Josh Ladd P number 8, which is the car at the front of this trio. So very, very possible for Andre, but 3 laps to go, not a lot of time to get that one done up in towards the NGK chicane, following his man very, very closely through there, but not able to get the exit.
No, as we go on board then from the rear of Daniel Bieder in that positive Sim Racing University of Isabella Wonka. Now Bieder will get DRS here from the car ahead. That is Josh Ladd as they come down in towards turn 1. Worth noting that Williams is close to Piev, and in fact, Piev, oh, Daniel Bieder, turn around, turn number 1.
Oh no, let's just see what has happened here. It was a dive down the inside for an Eric Andre. Gets his car alongside, pretty much half a car length inside there, but that gap was going to close and close and close. Just tags Daniel Bieder around, and Eric Andre able to continue on his way. Bieder hurt by that.
Yeah, let's have a look as there is the crash between the two of them. Also worth noting that Piev has got himself ahead of David Williams as well. He's now up into 5th place. Williams down into 6th.
Yeah, exactly. The scrap continues on just inside, outside of this of these top 5 cars right now. Montanez at the head of this train right now. We've got his teammate Matthew Calistani that has got himself away in P number 3. So he has that little bit of a buffer zone to work with on the final 2 laps of this event, which is very, very comforting for a driver. If you know you have that gap to the car behind, you don't have to push as hard. You can just bring the car to the end at this point and let the guys behind you just scrap it out for position. Here comes Piev, good run out of the NGK chicane. Sets himself up for the Coca-Cola curve, taking a little bit of a wider line than Montanez, carrying the momentum off. He will have DRS as they go across the line there. DRS flat wide open for the number 13, early defensive line from Montanez, but Piev might be able to get this done on the brakes, not able to, so squarely is the PSR cars, they make contact, real rim to real rims there, as Montanez still tries to take the outside, tries to fend from Piev, but Williams is looking threatening behind as well, going through the latter part of the Mercedes arena.
It's all going on, and it's all around that number 13 car, side by side of Williams, as they exit themselves then out of the complex, and Piev is again down into P number 5. He might be. He's spun around then. He's gone. And he's got to be careful here because there's another Andre who's just gone past. There's his teammate that going to go past. Josh Ladd and Eric Andre are past him right now. And for Piev, that all just happened in a heartbeat for him there. I think he got damage as he was battling it out. Because here's a look. He's all fine as he comes down towards turn number 5. Radical's car down to the inside. Yeah, they do make contact. And then Piev just gets himself onto the grass, loops it around. Number 13 car. Valiant effort here today, but not the result he would have wanted.
Yeah, he's really showing that fighting spirit, but sometimes you can get a little bit overzealous and the room to work with just isn't there, especially when you're battling side by side with another car. Speaking of, here comes David Williams over Jorge Montanez for P number 4 now. So David Williams trying to make up these positions very, very late on in this event. We're on to the last lap now. David Williams versus Montanez.
Yeah, down towards turn number 1. Who's going to get it done? The answer is going to be Williams has the run, but note Josh Thompson. He's down to the inside as well as they come in towards turn number 1. Through turn number 1, and Thompson is ahead right now of Montanez. So Montanez has lost out big time. All of a sudden, he's in 6th position.
Yeah, he is. So those tyres are continuing to start to go away from Montanez. It is an issue even in these sprint races because it's getting onto the long side of a single stint in the World Championship Grand Prix Series. So they can't do qualifying laps all the way to the end. They have to keep in mind that that rubber is going to deteriorate over the course of the race.
But we've got ourselves less than half a lap for Marcus Jensen. We've barely talked about him all day long, but now he's just got himself the NGK chicane and the Coca-Cola curve, and he's going to have himself victory here in the second round of McLaren Shadow into the final corner for the final time. Well, he won last time out at Montreal. He will win here again at the Nurburgring. Marcus Jensen, number 1 car, number 1 position, is your winner here at the Nurburgring, Connery.
Absolutely dominant performance once again from the driver of the number 1, Burst Esports, getting themselves 2 wins from 2 races here in the McLaren Shadow Project qualifier for iRacing. The rest of the runners be heading their way across the line. As actually Montanez has lost a position late on here, potentially. No, he was just the timing just updating there, but wow. Incredible performance from Jensen, and some great racecraft going on behind as well in those battles for the podium positions and inside the top 5.
Let's have a look at your final race results. So yeah, let's have a look at your final race results here from McLaren Shadow. If your name is Marcus Jensen, you are now 2 for 2. Winning by 15.1 seconds over Michael Partington, with Matteo Calistani coming home in the 3rd position. David Williams in 4th place. Josh Thompson in 5th. Jorge Montanez in 6th. Josh Ladd, Pierre, and Andre and Daniel Bida, they ran out your top 10. That's Pio Sorinov, Pierre in the 8th position. To go back to page number 2, it is Jan Brezina in 11th place, Ryan Parkins in 12th, Harrison Finch in 13th place, Kim Eriksson in the 14th position. He's the last driver within a minute. Stefan Schmidt is the last driver on the lead lap in 15th place. Robert Plumley, 16th. Tanguy Pedrozolia, he is in 17th and out of the event. So, that is our race, post-race coverage coming up next here on RaceSpotTV and on the iRacing Esports Network.
Last year I was sitting at a desk as a sales manager, and now I'm official McLaren F1 simulator test driver.
So it's 1.4 behind.
This opportunity is huge.
That's faster than the factory McLaren driver, and he's done 6 laps. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up.
4 more kilometers. Oh, there we go! They cut!
This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride.
Cronky! Down to the inside of Hoosie's off!
Passenger throws the block, and he will keep him behind him.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up, I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart, I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Welcome back, Connery. What a race we've had here today at the Nurburgring.
Yeah, exactly, especially for those positions further up the field. It was a bit of a runaway win, though, for Marcus Jensen, but everything behind was pretty frantic, especially late on in the race. It's what we do like to see, but that start as well, with Harrison Finch getting himself flung into the tyre barriers by his own teammates. He's had 2 races in a row now where he hasn't had the best of luck, especially on the race start, so he really needs to find something before this GP section of the qualifying is up.
Yep, here's your qualifying race results even. Once again, Marcus Jensen is your winner. He won by almost 16 seconds over, well, 15 and a bit seconds over Michael Partington. I mean, in a 20-lap race here, Connery, that's insane.
Yeah, he's just showing the talent that he has, and why he deserves to be in this McLaren Shadow project as well. He isn't the only Pro WC license holder in this field. Michael Partington has one, David Williams has one, Daniel Bieder, Kim Eriksson as well, although some of those drivers are also GT drivers, so they don't really count, but still an impressive performance, just pole position, race win, no problems.
We have got one driver to talk to. That is the driver of Josh Thompson, and you are going to have him here now, Connery.
Yeah, Josh. Wow, that was a pretty frantic race for you, a frantic start and a frantic end as well. Just take us through how it went.
No words, really. One of the most chaotic races I've ever had in this car. So, yeah, to come out of lap 1 where I was after having a poor win start, I was quite chuffed, and after that, we're just nursing the tyres was the main thing of this track. So I thought I did that quite well. Got up to 3rd, and then screen freeze. All screens went black. That's what happened, and that's what dropped me back. It connected back in, and Jorge drove over the top of me, and it damaged something on the rear, because after that I was nearly 2.5 seconds slow.
Oh, that is unfortunate to have that sort of thing happen, but just take us through your race start. You didn't actually get the best of starts compared to the cars behind. We had your teammate of Michael Partington get a launch off the line. Same with Jorge Montañez for PSR as well. Is it, do you just bog down a little bit, or are these guys, you know, using their little double clutch trickery to get themselves an advantage on the starts?
I used double clutch, so it's embarrassing, really. That was the most... just dropped too much clutch, so it bogged, so then I had to put the throttle in and a bit more clutch, and then obviously just kicks in the wheel spin. So, and then obviously because of that, I couldn't get second gear fast enough. And then that's what caused me. So lucky enough, just picked my way through the start and just avoid everything, really.
And how was the racing up there today? Because you were involved in quite a lot of it, in yourself and the pack that you were involved in. Any complaints about how that was raced, or was the race cars generally okay for you?
No, it was really good. I just want to clear something now. I saw and heard the incident with Peo. There was no contact. There was no netcode or anything. There was 0x. So just want to say a massive sorry to him if he thinks I hit him. But I've got the replay and it shows there was nothing there. So I think he might have just gone a bit too deep. Because let's face it, me, Dave, and loads of people had no tyre left. We were all laughing at the end of the race about having no tyre.
Josh, was he in too deep? Was he trying to keep up above in his head instead of going under?
Yeah, that.
I'm not sure where to go from that, to be honest.
That's why I just say it silent.
But yeah, sometimes the sort of the occupational hazards, shall we say, in terms of online racing, do come back to bite you. But is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go, before Will starts singing again?
Okay, I'm going to do that now quickly then. So I would like to say thank you to everyone at Radicals. Mike is also just been awesome again all week. Also Alex and Adam. They didn't race this week, but thank you to those guys. Those guys helped out quite a lot. And all the sponsors, Armour Centrum, Asta Sim Race, Cranfield Simulation, David Lee Patterson's podcast, and I probably forgot one. JRT, that's it.
Well, there we go. That was Josh Thompson representing Radicals Online, and we do have another Radicals Online driver looking to get an interview as well, Will.
Yeah, we do. We've got Mike Partington, as he's called on TeamSpeak. So, Mike, you came home second place yesterday. 15.1 seconds back from Marcus Jensen. What do you have to do to beat him?
Go faster.
How?
I'd like to know that. Qualifying could be better too. I messed up. I lost a couple of times. I think could have started maybe second or third. But I mean, the launch was quite good, and I got alongside Finch down the straight. Finch touched the grass maybe, but I think it all worked out in the end. Came out in third, and then started chasing down Montañez. And I think eventually his tyres went, and I got him.
Let's talk about those tyres. I mean, because of course you're not running a full Grand Prix distance, but you are running long enough that if you're full fueled, it will create an issue. How hard is it to manage those?
Yeah, it's very difficult. Any slide and you're going to lose tenths of a second every single lap afterwards. And I think I had 2 contacts during the race, one at the beginning, I think with Finch, and then again with Montañez down at turn 1. I think it clipped my rear. And I think it ruined the tyres and I got a bit of damage, so I mean, it got even more difficult and the car just struggled to turn in.
Now, Radicals Online, they were battling it out with PSR here today. They weren't able to touch the Burst Esports car. When we go to the next round of the championship in 1 week's time, what do you think it's going to be like at Monza? Because it's a completely different racetrack, low downforce.
Yeah, of course. I think it'll be more like Montreal. I think we'll be able to keep up it better. Nurburgring was probably always going to be our weakest track in this series. But from now on, I think we've got good tracks. We've got good pace on the low downforce tracks.
Now, I'm going to ask a question we talked about a little bit on air. You're a Radicals Online driver. One of your biggest rivals are Team Redline. And in fact, your old team manager, Andy Kay, was outspoken in disputing the differences between what Team Redline thought they were going to have in terms of them classifying themselves as the best esports team in the world, and what Radicals Online classify themselves as being the best esports team in the world. What happens if you win this?
I don't know.
Anything else?
No. I haven't actually looked. I just thought it was great.
He's an honorary Finnish driver with those responses.
He is literally an honorary Finnish driver. Before we let you go, Michael, who do you want to give a shout out to from that team?
Radicals, Josh for helping me practice this race. Sponsor, Six Sideways, GRT, Armour, Cranfield.
Well, thank you very much, Michael Partington. Then we asked the hard questions here on RaceSpotTV here. And one thing, Connery, that's worth noting is that we are 2 rounds in. We've got 2 rounds left to go. But the Nurburgring has been very interesting in terms of the championship. But Monza, we go from a medium to high to a medium to low with downforce racetrack.
Yeah, exactly. That will want to be very, very interesting to watch as well with the how much time that you're on 100% throttle. These cars will be absolutely trimmed out for a circuit such as Monza. And then we've got Spa as well. We've actually also got Interlagos as well as the 5th week on the schedule before we move to the GT3 McLaren machine. So we've still got a little bit of time here to watch some fantastic Grand Prix racing action.
Yep. That is all we've got time for, though, here tonight. Thank you so much to the following people that get what we need to do done. That is Islam Ballard, TrackCam22.com, Andres1 and One Design, to Simon Grossman and Aptionune.com, and to Nick Thisson for RaceSpotTV, live timing and scoring. He has been Connery Maddock. I am Will Vincent. We are halfway through McLaren Shadow for 2018 on the Grand Prix side of things. We still got 6 weeks worth of racing to go. Thank you for watching. Good night from the Nurburgring.